Today's episode is brought to you by FNX. If you're looking to lose weight, gain weight in the most healthiest way possible, FNX is where you need to go. You're talking about a section you're looking to gain weight. There's a section you're trying to lose weight. There's also even a section you're trying to better your performance when you're out there trying to be the best you. Please go to the link that is in this video. But also, you have to look the part. We're trying to unlock that inner athlete in you. Speaking of inner athlete, hey, you know how we get down. So, fill up your shopping carts. Once you get to checkout, use the promo code BTSI for 15% off. Again, BTSI for 50% off at checkout. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the B.TS Show. I'm your host, Christopher J. We are broadcasting live from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and as y'all can see in my background, people on Clubhouse is here. Yesterday, we had a topic in regards to false narratives in the Black community. We dispelled majority of those rumors. Yesterday, that was a 4-hour room. You guys could go on my Clubhouse and check it out. We're going to run that thing back today, and I got some other topics that I want to discuss. So, with that being said, you guys know what to do. You guys need to like and subscribe to my YouTube page. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and Clubhouse if you're not already. Those who are new to my room, go ahead, click the greenhouse at the top, and follow the moderators. You guys are more than welcome to make a donation to the Cash App. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can make a donation through Super Chat. And participants waive all their rights to privacy, whether it be YouTube, IG, or Clubhouse. All rights have been waived. And we're still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Once we reach that number, I will give one lucky person $100. Just one. And so you guys know momentum. We're almost at 500 subscribers. I will send out $500 once we reach that goal to one lucky person. Also, real quick, Bring the Smoke is a room in Clubhouse run by King Chicago. If you are a Clubhouse member, go ahead and follow this young brother's room, okay? So let's go ahead and play a commercial because we got a lot to discuss in Quick Hits. Today's episode is brought to you by Wavilo. Of course, you guys see me with my Bakari watch. Looks nice, don't it? But if I wanted to go out, just a casual wear, and it's kind of chilly outside. Not bad. Let's add some more color to it. Ooh. That's going to look good for the photo shoot. Get with the brand that's versatile, that can cover you in all areas of fashion for men and women. So, go to the link that's in this video. Fill up your shopping carts. Once you do, the promo code is BTSI for 50% off. I repeat, BTSI for 50% off at checkout. All right, you guys. So here's a backstory on why we're talking about what we're talking about today. It's a rarity that I call an audible, but something was brought to my attention Monday. Me and Big Bag, one of the moderators, we was in a private room talking about business venture or going to business, working together. Him and another brother by the name of Aaron brought up something that was going on in the clubhouse hallways. A room opened up by the name of Walk It Like I Talk It. It's run by a brother named Ocean. I've been in his room plenty of times before. Don't have an issue with the brother at all. I know he goes a little hard on the man, but that's okay. We need rooms, we need spaces to hold men accountable. I don't have a problem with that. There was something in his room, a title of his room. It was Black men kill black women every 6 hours. We don't have to look at the numbers to know that's false. That just sounds false in of itself. And they was going into details about it. And I'm gonna let Black take over because he was kind of involved. He was involved in this situation. So Black, if you feel comfortable, you're more than welcome to tell the audience what happened.
Sure. So I saw the room in the hallway, and it immediately me, hey, I need to go in and at least champion for the fact that this is not a narrative that we want to continue with patently false. I get in the room and get immediately invited to the stage because one of the moderators on the stage is a new member of Clubhouse. I'm familiar with her. I've invited her on a couple of stages that I've been on before as well when I was modding. And she decided to invite me into a private room. Her intention was to pre-screen what it is I was going to say, because apparently the room had been up for about 5 hours, and she wanted to make sure I was on point with what I was going to say. I was going to be talking about something that they had already discussed. So I told her what I intended to say. Apparently she wasn't pleased with the fact that I was actually going to come up there and actually tell the truth. So the room definitely had an agenda to it. So I respectfully told her I was going to go and make my own space, counter to the room. Ended up having about 185 people or so that showed up, which was larger than the space that they had, dispelling first the notion that black men kill a black woman every 5 hours as a result of domestic violence, which was really what the room was about. And secondly, it turned into me working on dispelling other myths about black men, about black women, and about black people in general in the United States. And it was really shocking to me to even hear the simple claim and people that were young and impressionable believing that this was fact. I mean, the numbers don't add up. Not that any death of any person as a means of domestic violence is acceptable, but in 2020, the year that they were discussing, only 88 people died as a result of domestic violence. That includes both men and women, and all black people that were victims of domestic violence. It's actually incredibly rare for someone to actually expire from this mortal realm as a result of their injuries from domestic violence. It doesn't speak to the prevalence of domestic violence, who's the victim of it, how often it occurs, any of that. It is simply not a factual statement to claim that a black man is killing a black woman every 5 hours. It's not true. So to drive that home again, there's 17,793, I believe, fatalities in the United States for all causes, for all races and ethnicities, for both genders. Of that amount, 9,913 deaths occurred in 2020, 8,469 deaths for black men, 1,440 deaths for black women. And that's for all causes of criminal activity recorded by the federal government. The numbers don't add up.
And like I said, Ocean's cool, but I found that to be very dangerous and, quite frankly, irresponsible. Now, I will have to ask him, or somebody will have to ask him, where did you get that number from? Or in history, where was that number accurate?
So they did have an article posted from a nonprofit organization that supported this number that a black woman gets killed every 5 hours wasn't a peer-reviewed study. It wasn't based off of actual statistics. And it's kind of dubious how they got to their calculation to begin with. But the only way you get there or get close to that number is if you're talking about all deaths for the entire year. And even then, to get to one death for a black woman every 5 hours, you'd have to have 1,790 deaths, and there were only 1,440. The claim just didn't hold water. And remember, their claim was specifically that these deaths alone are a result of domestic violence. So there's this prevailing notion that black men are out here beating and killing black women like hotcakes. Is something that's becoming more and more prevalent on Clubhouse, along with the notion of black femicide on top of that at the hands of black men. And it's not factually true.
And give me 1 second, I'm sorry. And I'm glad you said I'm glad you said all that. And like I said, I don't understand how as black people we can just throw something out there and hopefully it sticks to us. And just to let everybody know, if you look at my moderators, I don't know why it says Big Bags up here twice, but you got Black, Big Bag, and Aaron. They're responsible for me holding the room yesterday and doing a simulcast today. They brought this to my attention. I think it's important that we dispel these rumors. Not rumors, just these narratives. We did 4 hours yesterday. We dispelled that. We dispelled the marriage rates. We dispelled how they say black boys read at a fourth grade level. We dispelled that. The incarceration rate got dispelled. And there was maybe at least two men. Well, I understand some women are going to feel a way about it. I get it. But there was at least two men, what up, Rick? Two men that came there that had an issue with the numbers because it just didn't fit their narrative. It just didn't fit what they see in real life. And Black, I want to say this to the answer to this. When we bring up stats, there's always some people saying, "Well, my cousin went through this. I seen a coworker go through this." Why do people bring up their anecdotal experience, thinking that's going to trump whatever the numbers are out there?
Generally speaking, it's because someone wants to win what they perceive to be an attack on their own lived experience, and that's fine. I'm certainly not here to denigrate someone's lived experience, but it remains that simply your lived experience. The tack that I took yesterday is I always answered the specific request, either in a chat, from Instagram, from Facebook, from Clubhouse, to address what needed to be debunked. And whether that was at a macro level for the black community overall, or specifically a targeted topic on black men or black women or black children, that's what I addressed. And I'm using the best available peer-reviewed and our government collected data that we have, which are considered to be authoritative from a quantitative statistical nature, and that's it. I'm not getting into the weeds. That if someone wants me to address something much more granular and specific, I can see if there's data available for that. But typically, the more granular you get, or the more obscure the topic is, it probably hasn't been studied, which is why people have just opinions about it, and there's no fact pattern to really determine one way or the
other. All right, I feel that. Now, real quick, like you had an interesting backstory because the gentleman asked you like, how did Black get to where he's at today? Because after this, I see that we have at least some four ladies in the audience, and I want them to get involved because I'm pretty sure they got some narratives that need to be dispelled as well. But Black, tell people who you are and how you got to where you're at right now.
Sure. I'm a quantitative statistician by trade. I've been doing it for 22 years. How I got into statistics was actually kind of a result, unfortunately, of my father falling ill my senior year as an undergrad. So about months before I graduated, he got diagnosed with prostate cancer. And then 2 months before I graduated, he had a stroke. So instead of going directly to grad school, which was my plan, to go and do a law degree, I decided to go home and take care of my father and kind of nurse him back to health, which I did for about 5.5 months. And one day he just came to my room and was like, "What are you doing? You always plan to go and continue your education, get to it." Well, that's how I ended up in El Paso, at the University of Texas in El Paso, and got my master's in quantitative statistics. And I've been doing it ever since. I did get a second master's in accounting and finance, so I've now combined those. And I work with statistics and data every day for a hedge fund company. And that's basically my career. I look and stare at these type of issues and numbers every day.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you. And for those who are listening, or whoever's going to watch this on the replay, his Cash App. Actually, let me put it on the ticker on my live stream right now. Cash App is in the chat, and those who are watching me on Facebook, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I'm about to post it right now. This is his Cash App. Please make a donation, because once you go back and watch and listen to the podcast that we did yesterday exclusively on Clubhouse, you will see that this man went to work. No one asked him. He volunteered his work. Matter of fact, I made a donation to him yesterday, and I will be doing it again this evening as well. That's how great he was to help the community. And we are very appreciative of that. So, Black, I appreciate your work, man. Thank you so much. Now, we got May on the stage, we got Nala on the stage, we got Lisa on the stage. So, ladies, this is your opportunity to ask any questions, any narratives about the Black community that you've been hearing. Because we dispelled a lot in regards to women yesterday. One of the things that I was actually proud of, that we dispelled the angry Black woman narrative. Is there anything that you hear in these hallways, particularly about women, although we're going to do a women's show next month? Is there any narratives you believe needs to be dispelled that you hear a lot and it sounds like BS, or you just need some concrete proof that it is?
I think one narrative that women just want to be single, even though it may be true for some, but I don't think it's true for most. And a lot of men seem to assume that, but that's not really the case.
So the narrative of Black women just want to be single, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. We talked briefly about this yesterday, and I guess the prevailing notion, I guess most people would kind of hear the soundboard of what Kevin Samuels, for instance, who positively sprouts that 26% of Black women are married. That's not really the whole story. So, for Black people overall, 50% of Black people have never been married once. 30% of Black people are currently married. 3% are married but separated. 12% are divorced, and 6% are widowed. When you look at Black men, 52% of Black men have never been married. 48% of Black men have been married at least once. 33% of Black men are currently married. 3% are married but separated. 10% are divorced, and 3% are widowed. When you look at our sisters, the numbers are actually pretty impressive. 48% have never been married, which means that Black women marry at a 52% rate. That is 2% lower than white women, who have the highest percentage of marriage in the United States. 27% of Black women are currently married. 4% are married but currently separated. 13% are divorced, and 8% are widowed.
So, all right. So with that number, because you said we're all married at 30%, and compared to the number that we heard yesterday. So it's safe to, so what's the number saying that black women want to get married? Black women are getting married at a majority number, or is it at a micro number?
Right. The majority of black women do get married. 52% of black women get married at least once. The problem is that black women also divorce at the highest rate, around an 80% clip, in an average of 4.5 years. So much so that only 27% of those 52% of women, of the entire population of the 27.2 million women we have, are currently married. So they can get married. Lord knows they can get engaged, but they don't stay married.
Okay, that's a acceptable narrative. So now, black women don't want to be single. Majority of them do get married. Now, as far as staying married, that's a different monster that we're going to tackle later on. But they definitely, black women don't want to be single.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I just see it on Clubhouse. Like, why do you guys think we just don't want to be alone?
No, and even before statistics, I knew that like black women don't want to be alone. Now that's why majority don't get in relationships, they get married and that type of stuff. Now that speaks to something else to a lesser degree. I'll probably touch on that if not next month, maybe the month after, but I will touch on that. But no, black women get married. Yes, they do. They don't want black women don't want to be alone. Majority of them because why?
Yeah, you're right about that. You're definitely right about that.
All right. I appreciated that. Damn, Lisa's on the phone. Coach, what's up?
Especially with driving.
Especially with what?
Especially with driving.
Hey, Coach, haven't seen you in a while. How you been?
I've been alright. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I'm driving too. Yeah, I'm doing alright. I'm just sitting in.
All right, no problem, no problem. We are debunking false narratives of the community. We did a whole room about this yesterday, and we are going to take some time to debunk some today. Is there any narratives that you guys have been hearing that needs to be debunked? Today's episode is brought to you by Brytn Smile. Now, you guys need to keep your mouths clean, keep your mouths white, and keep your mouths bright between dentist visits. I get it, I understand. So here's where Brytn Smile come into play. Yes, good old Brytn Smile. Now, in this whitening kit, it comes with a multitude of things that you need. Starters, you're going to need a user manual on how to operate the devices that come with it. Next up, you have a shade chart to keep you posted on where your teeth fall on the chart. That is very beneficial. Also, these gel pens. Put the gel on each tooth. Do it correctly. Follow the manual. And, well, you know, we have a charger. It comes with a charger. I wonder why. That's right, an LED mouthpiece. This is very beneficial, y'all, as y'all can see. For the blue, it is on for 15 minutes. And once that is done, let's go purple, pink, whatever color you prefer to call it. Let's do that for 10 minutes. Go to Brytn Smile. The link is located in the description. Grab a kit, put it in your shopping cart, and when you get to the checkout, the promo code is BTSI for 25% off. Again, BTSI for 25% off.
I'm trying to think. There's so much trash out there. Like, this is an important thing.
Hey, Chris, if you can read them, we can take topic suggestions from your other simulcast targets as well. So Facebook, Instagram, or whatnot. If they're typing anything that...
Oh, yeah, I'm checking.
Apropos, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm checking.
Did you discuss about how, you know, how since we like to talk about the cookies and ray how this gay culture is such a small percentage of us is not, saying it's major in social media and everybody else is trying to make it seem. I mean, it's a problem, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, The narrative that all black men do is just sleep around, make babies, don't take care of them. They always in the streets, incarcerated, and all that stuff. That's the narrative. We wrote that down yesterday as well. But Black, can you break that down real quick? And actually, let me get my cash app ready. Well, I'll do it after the soundcast. Hey, Black, you there?
I am looking at 1 second.
Okay, no problem, no problem. But yeah, while he's doing that, Drew, we talked about that yesterday, and
It's gonna be a issue coming up, especially coming off of COVID, because you know the police wasn't really out too tough due to COVID, and if they was arresting people, they was releasing them for a later time. So that's bringing in all of these racketeering charges and U.S. Marshals and all of that type of stuff that you know they like to do. You see, they just killed their friend, nephew, or cousin, whatever he was.
mm-hmm.
You know, they pulled up on him like they was jump out boys. He didn't know what was going on. I'm sure he knew that he was wanted, but you know what's going on outside. Somebody pull up on you like that, you're gonna be trying to get away.
Yeah, that was a bad, real bad situation. I'm staying out of that until I feel like there's anything that got Jay Prince, excuse me, Prince on it. It's best if I just stay out of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was on Really D though. If you didn't watch that episode, but he did a whole interview about it. He talked about it
Recently?
Yeah, he did. I can send it to you. But right after it happened, he went on there because he, you know what I'm saying, he on his shit about it.
Yeah, because I haven't been listening to podcasts as of late because I remember they interviewed. He was one of the first interviews when they Get Up Boys did the podcast. I'm gonna listen to that. But Black, go ahead.
Okay, so the best available data that we have comes from the National Youth Games Survey. This is the National Games Center, which is under the OJP. And they stipulate that when you break down by population for African Americans, 5.9% of African Americans, male and female, have identified themselves as being a member of a gang at some point during their life, which implies that 94.1% of African Americans don't involve themselves in gang activity at all. So it's an extraordinarily small amount. We can kind of extrapolate that a bit. We do know that there's around 47.2 million Black people in the United States right now. So, so there's about 2.8 million people that are identify themselves as non-Hispanic Black that are members of gangs across the United States.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how that's possible. I mean, even like, you know what I'm saying, I chose that, you know what I'm saying, as a female. And then I'm gonna stay within my ranks of the female in this conversation, but even with that, like, you know, everybody, like, social media hypes it up, the news hypes it up, you know, we want to seem like we hard and we come from the toughest crew, so we hype it up. But it really don't be that major, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, people get killed, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna really get into street politics because I think that has its place. Somebody gotta die for something. Somebody gotta lose themselves. But outside of that, though, it's really not a large percentage of us that's out here doing that. It's sad because we hate to see each other die over streets that don't belong to us and, you know, they're not drugs and all of that the type of stuff that we out here doing. But I did, so, you know what I'm saying? We just gotta, I think it's important, you know, to help some of these kids that want to be helped, the ones that don't get it. You already know what you got to do that. But yeah, it's not as major. It's not as large of a problem as they try to make it seem with us.
Right, and to your point with the media, although we're talking about Black people who spread false narratives about the Black community, the media, that's nothing. They're going to blow stuff out of proportion, especially when it comes to us. So the news exaggerates, the newspapers, the radios, all of that stuff. If the narrative is about Black people, they're gonna they're going to push it. And just based off of our conversation and based off from yesterday and what me and my wife was talking about today, obviously there's more white millionaires than black people. So those who have the power have to go to push the narrative because most of the stuff that they get on black people for doing, white people are doing it 100 miles per hour at a fast rate in a large amounts of numbers. The thing is that they have people with money to make sure that the media push that attention away from them and put it on us.
Sister May did have a topic in the chat, and she wanted us to debunk the notion that single mothers are not effective at raising, I guess, solid male children. There are, oddly enough, a just bevy of statistical studies about this, but all things being equal, unfortunately, children raised by single mothers are far more likely to fare worse on a number of dimensions, including their school achievement, social and emotional development, their health, and their success in the labor market. They're at greater risk for parental abuse and neglect. When you divest the numbers for child abuse, single mothers are high on that list, especially from their live-in boyfriends who are not their biological fathers, which also contributes to a lot of kind of sexual child abuse from these men. They're more likely to become teen parents, and they're less likely to graduate from high school or college. Not all children that are raised in single-family households, man or female-led, suffer from these adverse outcomes, but the risks for them are great. That's been empirically proven for like 40 or 50 years. So generally speaking, when there is a male presence around a male child, the male does better. With whether or not there's just a single male presence and that's it, and or there are both parents involved, the mother and the father. Generally speaking, it's a greater risk when you just have a single mother. And particularly the nuance there is, it is nigh impossible for a woman to teach a man how to be a man. I mean, you guys are not men. It's just pretty simple there.
And one thing I always say, ladies, you guys do, and you guys are doing the best you can with what you got, and that should not be taken away from you. But the fact is that a woman cannot raise a boy to be a man, just like a father cannot raise a girl to be a woman. Everybody has their roles to play. I know some people like to say we don't need gender roles or whatever the case may be in a relationship. Stop thinking about yourself and think about your kids. That will be my take on that because I need. I'm not gonna go because I told this story in my opinion ad nauseum too many times. I decided to spend more time at home during the week because I need to make sure my son grows up to be a man. And as great as my wife is, as great as her mother is, great as her aunties are, they're not me. There's something I can instill in him that they won't be able to. So, ladies, you have done an exceptional job. Those who have to do it by themselves, God bless you. You should be saluted. But your sons are going to lack somewhere, and it's going to come back to haunt them in their adult age. And I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that that's absolutely true. I don't know why there's such a pushback. It's like you can obviously teach a boy the right things, but he tends to end up being, if he has no like male figures to fall behind, he just turns up being an adult male and not a man, you know. And so I don't know why there's so much pushback on that, but that is what it is. And that's just growing up, without my father in my life, I remember how that felt, and a lot of times that's why they'll end up in gangs and things of that nature. Why? Because there's males there, boys are going to seek out, male role models to follow. You know, so I think you guys gotta really think things through and be careful about, you know, letting this narrative that, you know, the black woman or whatever could just raise all these. They've raised all these strong black men. That's not what has happened. You know, society doesn't look like that. You know, not in our community.
You know, that's right. And a lot of people say.
Again, it's not that it's. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Aaron.
I was just going to say again, it's not that it can't be done, but the percentages show that it's likely that they're not going to have the same opportunity as the people who have the male or the two-parent home. You know, I was my mother raised me, and fortunately, I had a good one. You know what I mean? So I'm able to do a lot of things today, and I'm one of the most successful people in my family because of her. You know, and because of myself. I give myself credit too. But the odds are just not there. If you don't have you have to look at the parents as a resource. So if you're missing resources, then you're missing opportunities. So
that's right.
You know, that's kind of how that goes. But I just wanted to chime in and say that.
May I chime in anecdotally as you have?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Brother Oduno. I'm a bona fide Texan, and I'll kick most people's derriere all the way to the Hoover Dam if they get in our way. I grew up in the area of the football capital of the world, Beaumont, Texas, as of 1972. That's not brag, that's just fact per capita.
Yes, sir.
Anecdotally, I see where the brother, I think you were out of Houston, Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
I don't have on my glasses. That's the reason why I lived in a children's home on Forsyth in Beaumont, Texas. And I got the hell away from women as quick as I could to go down to the barbershop and be with the men. But I was really headed for the YMCA that was 2 or 3 blocks away from there. I love women. I love my mother. I love my older sister. And I'm just giving you an anecdotal because I don't use anecdotal as a mask. I'm just sharing you what my experience. And as a matter of fact, my 8th grade science teacher lived in the same Dorcas Community Center, which was a group of women who took care of children whose parents who either had to work or the parents may not have been there. And unless there's a move toward men who are strong to help nurture us males, there's too much wiggle room in there. And some of us saw it, and so that's why I gravitated toward basketball and high jumping. And quite naturally, in our generation, even though Reverend Johnny Allen wasn't the best coach and the best basketball player, he was our basketball player and science teacher at Adams Elementary School in Beaumont, Texas. There's no doubt about it. 2 good roads going in the same direction to train up a child in the way that we should go, a man and a woman, and or the safety net. And I think I'm a part of the anecdotal young man who had the safety net, which was the barbershop and the YMCA. Yes, there was the Boy Scouts and some other things, but I didn't really have that because I didn't have the resources, but there were other young men who had other areas. Thank you for allowing me to share, and I'm a young man who was born in 1947, the month of August, the same year as Louis Ferdinand Alcindor, Sada Shakur, and a number of other people, because I need to land this plane. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you. You're always welcome in this room. And thank you guys for chiming in. Is there anything else we want to debunk? Well, let's debunk one more thing. If you guys want to listen to all the narratives that we debunked, please click the greenhouse or follow if you can. Click the greenhouse, go to the first video, the first audio should say false narratives spread by the black community or something to that extent. We spent almost 4 hours debunking narrative. It is a great listen. Go ahead. When you're in the gym, when you're going to work, or whatever the case may be, just listen to it. Take notes. Write down everything that was debunked. So that way, when you go out into this world and people try to throw that in your face, you have stats and you have sources on where you got these stats as well. We can't let people in these hallways or off this platform continue to spread these lies and we just turn a blind eye to it. Men, we have done that before, and we're going to get into that in our last call in regards to the black men regaining the narrative of their own. Real quick, is there anything else that needs to be debunked? Charmy, how you doing?
Hi, I'm all right. How about you?
I'm doing good. Um, Sister, I'm pretty sure you hear a lot of narratives about the black community, particularly about black women. Do you have anything that you believe needs to be dispelled?
Mm, there's so many.
Because we are going to do a room maybe on April 19th. Me and Tay, Black, I hope you'll be able to join us as well. We're going to dispel a lot of narratives in regards to black women on April 19th. Whether it be true or not, we're going to do that. But do you have at least one?
Um, I think I'll say the one that I recently have dealt with is that black women can be professional. That's a common thing. They're like, oh, well, we want to, at different employments or companies, they want to just reach their particular quota of black people. They don't want to just hire us because we're great. It's like they just want to reach a quota. So black women can be professional. It's just very, very few of us. I think it's just more of the company that they keep, but I'm not really sure how to phrase it to debunk it, besides saying that they're out there.
So,
I don't know. Still like in process. So.
No, you good. I want to make sure I get this right. We're going to try to clean it up real quick. What you want to debunk is the fact that black women can be professional, and
Yes.
well, we know that already.
Or sorry, that can't be professional. Can't.
Like code switch.
What that is.
Code switch is basically wearing different types of hat. Like when I'm around my family, I act a certain way. When I'm around my friends, I act a certain way. But I'm completely different when I go to work because they expect a professional version of me. So it's that type of code switch.
Yes.
So is that what you're getting at? That black women can't code switch or something like that?
Yes. That sounds perfect. Yeah.
Okay, black women can't code switch because if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, the narrative is women are masculine at work, but they cannot be feminine when they go home. Is that correct?
Well, no, not necessarily. I'll just give you a scenario. See if maybe this makes more sense. And we came into a new space, and it's another app, and it's professional networking, all this. So you come in with a different demeanor, and some of the women that I went in with, like I would say, there was 10 of us there. Maybe 4 of us actually was able to adjust to the environment, but then some women couldn't, or they chose not to.
Okay, code switching then. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Black women can't code switch. I find that to be. I never knew that was a narrative, but Black, what do you think about that?
So there are a number of psychological and sociological studies concerning code switching, and most of them do happen to be specific to Black women because Black women have a higher percentage of their population in the United States that are white-collar workers. And you typically see these studies focus on two areas. One, that having to code switch, at least for long periods of time, for Black women, has very deep financial effects, i.e., even though some Black women are able to effectively code switch, most of them don't benefit from that code switching in terms of going up high in these organizations. So there tends to be a ceiling for most Black women in corporate companies where they get to like mid-management regardless of how much education experience they have. And every now and again, they'll let some of these sisters through to some of these top like C-level positions, but it's pretty rare. So they're able to make money, they're able to have a job, but most of these sisters never really develop real careers. They're
That's
making money, but that glass ceiling is definitely there because there's only so many people they're going to let through. They need their tokens, and that's it.
That's why I left corporate America. It's crazy. Like, I know some Black women that were working for Target, specifically Target Corporate. I worked there for years. One woman specifically, she was there for 25 years. She was a manager, and they hired a young girl straight out of high school for a management position above her instead of hiring her. And this is just something that happens often, and they just brush it under the rug. Like, you can contact HR, but some of the companies, you contact HR, and it comes back. They say, it's a safe space. You can call us and tell us what's going on. But hell, they're calling your manager and telling your manager, you're fired out of nowhere. Because a lot of states is, what is it called? No
at will.
The jobs with it at will, yeah.
At will,
So basically, they can just fire you for any reason. So I've seen a lot of that. It's working for Target corporate, especially like Target. They play a good game and they act like they're for us, but that is a very racist company. And I'm from Minnesota, and that's where Target originated. But they're very racist.
So the second school of thought from the
let me say something to that real quick. I agree with what you're saying. Now, I work for, a big bank. That's the devil, but it's a check. And it's the same thing with HR there. And anytime you contact HR, they're going to send a copy of whatever email to your supervisor. They'll say, like you just said, it's confidentiality and all of that type of stuff. But once it's all settled, like if you open up a case, as far as employee relations or anything like that, once it's all over, even if your supervisor doesn't say anything, you'll have other supervisors, especially like at my job, be like, oh, I heard you called HR, and you don't want to make it a habit of continuing to call HR, because if you keep doing that, then they'll treat you like this, or they'll treat you like that, or they'll fire you, or you'll lose your job. Everybody in the building knows that you talk to HR.
Yeah, because one thing about HR, which people need to understand, HR is not there for you. They're there for the company. They're going to look out for the best interests of the company first and foremost. If they have some crumbs left over, they'll help you out. Don't think HR is your best friend, because most of the time they're not.
That's why I everything and put everything in writing with a date and everything to get an attorney. You have to
Absolutely.
I learned that just watching, seeing shit. This girl got fired because she reported a manager. This girl was an upstanding employee. She was never late. They fired her off the blue one day talking about she was no longer needed because she was on a temp. She was a temp. But you have to be a temp in order to even get into the company.
Right. Black, go ahead.
Oh. Right. The other side of the literature is the emotional effects of the code switching. Generally speaking, you tend to lose a sense of yourself, and some of these women just can't cut it off. So you see that. So in the literature, there's really three main tenets that you see. First, for Black people and other racial minorities, downplaying membership in a stigmatized racial group helps to increase perceptions of professionalism and the likelihood of getting hired, which is a positive. But avoiding negative stereotypes associated with Black racial identity sometimes can even help you be seen as a leader. because you're literally, burning the bridge to your own melanin reflection in order to have less of a sense of otherness. The issue is that expressing shared interests with members of dominant groups promotes similarity with powerful organizational members, which raises the chance of promotions. However, it comes with social and psychological repercussions. So you can generate hostility with other Black people that are on the floor in the company with you by you trying to pursue this otherness. You can increase the likelihood that those that code switch will be accused of quote unquote acting white, so it can backfire on you. And also, seeking to avoid these stereotypes is really hard work, and it can not only make you less mentally acute, but it can also hinder your performance, and people see that.
Last year,
continuing to feign a commonality with coworkers, it reduces your authentic self, and it can cause burnout, which is why a lot of sisters actually leave companies. It's just too stressful to maintain that facade, and they may exit the workforce for a while and then go back in. But it also contributes to why a lot of sisters are leaving corporate America altogether and branching out and becoming entrepreneurs. This sense that they can't be authentically themselves.
I know a lot of that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm definitely trying to leave.
my brother.
The healthcare field ain't no better.
And I highlighted Black women here because...
May I share?
Yes, sir. Give me 1 second here. 38% of Black men are blue-collar workers, so they're not in corporate America. Only 8% of Black women are blue-collar workers. So you guys are 59% of Black women are in corporate America with white-collar jobs. So they're having to actively code switch. And it's a struggle for a lot of them.
So do black men have more jobs within corporate America? I honestly feel like
no. Black women outnumber Black men with white collar jobs by about 1.3 million. But you got to recall there's 7.2 million more Black women in the United States than there are Black men.
May I share?
Yes, sir.
I honorably and respectably, I'm not going to change the subject, but I'm going to slightly shift it. Tomorrow, like I got a poor connection. Can you hear me? Tomorrow is actually the 110th birthday of Dr. Dorothy Irene Height. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Dorothy Irene Height, in addition to being a long-term president of the National Council of Negro Women, all the way up through 2010, he and a slice of those women taught younger girls, ebony, melanated young women, how to code switch as well as stay who they were born to be. And so I'm just mentioning this because sometimes in war territory, it's important for us to do what we have to do. And some of us can be taught how to be up in that place if we want to be up in those places. And we can also do as Nanny Helen Burroughs and you need some examples that are closer to our time period and everything. However, it is a continual war, and because it's a continual war, the males have to be taught how to be men in those categories.
All right, you guys.
And
we're
the
gonna go
girls
on
have to be taught how to be women
We're
in
gonna
those
play Aubrey
categories.
Noel, and once we come back,
Because
I have something in regards to last call in regards to the
people get to
narrative
deal with having their own
Aubrey Noel.
businesses.
Today's episode is brought to you by Aubrey Noel, home of the sophisticated lashes. Even during the pandemic, yes, eyelashes is still a necessity. You might not be able to go full on makeup because you got to wear masks everywhere you go. So focus on the areas you can focus on, i.e. your eyes. And that's where Aubrey Noel comes into play. Today, I want to introduce you to Pixie. Ain't she a beaut? She'll even look better on you guys. When you guys get your chance, go to AubreyNoel.com. You get a better look at Pixie and sort through all the eyelashes. You got Monroe, you got Zola, you got other eyelashes that I can guarantee that you guys are going to fall in love with. Go ahead and fill up your shopping carts and look good during this pandemic. You can still be the best you, even wearing a mask. So go to AubreyNoel.com. Again, AubreyNoel.com. Also, you can follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. That's AubreyNoelle. Aubrey Noel. So for everybody that's been hanging with me, thank you guys so much. You guys are very much appreciated. So those who are watching, you guys know what you need to do. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube page, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and Clubhouse. You're more than welcome to make a donation through Cash App. If you're on YouTube, you could donate through Super Chat. We are still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Once we reach that goal, one lucky person will get $100, just one. And so I'm a man of my word. We're almost at 500 subscribers. Let's get up to that. Let's get up to 500 subscribers on YouTube, and I'll cash out one lucky person $50. Trust me, gas prices too high. You guys can use the money. Brytn Smoke, King Chicago's room. If you're on Clubhouse, go follow that brother. He does a lot of work. Like I said, we don't agree on everything, and that's perfectly fine. We're not supposed to agree on everything, but we have the same end goal as mine. So I'm a big supporter of Brytn Smoke and King Chicago. So please go follow him. And participants waive all rights to privacy. If you are in the Clubhouse room, you are IG Live, or you call in on the show, all rights will be waived. But other than that, people, we will be back next week in regards to Black professionals in the workplace and how we have the representation we asked for. Now, Black people, all they need to do is just succeed. All right? So with that being said, my name is Christopher J. Clubhouse, thank you guys so much. Black, I definitely appreciate you, brother. Beck and Aaron, thank you for bringing this to my attention. You guys are blessed. You guys are needed in this community and this fight to fixing the community. So thank you guys so much. People on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, thank you guys so much. I'm Christopher J. I will talk to you guys next week. Have a blessed day. Peace out.